Ladies and gentlemen, we are very pleased to welcome you to a premiere in the fleet industry. Today, we present you the first ever virtual fleet launch, a new experience to discover new vehicles that could find their way into your fleet. The Virtual Fleet Launch is an initiative of Fleet Europe to help decision makers get the necessary insights on the total cost of ownership, the residual value, the innovative technology of driver satisfaction. We have developed a presentation model that is time effective and that will allow you to ask relevant questions to the car manufacturers. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Caroline Tonon and I will lead you to this first in the industry. Today, we have the honor to welcome Opel as the first manufacturer to present the new Opel KARL. And our guest speakers today are Ian Hucker, Director European Fleet Sales, Remarketing and Used Vehicle Operations, and Mark Schomburg, Manager European Fleet Operations at Opel Vauxhall European Fleet. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go through today's agenda. After my short introduction, you will discover the new Opel KARL. This small new Opel appeals to the heart and the brain and is an ideal car for price-conscious fleet customers. The newcomer is not only good looking, it also impresses with its core values, as you will learn from Ian Hucker. And last but not least, you will have the opportunity to ask questions about the Opel KARL during the Q&A session. As a participant, we invite you to submit your questions by using the chat function of this webinar tool. This virtual fleet launch will be recorded and will thus be available on fleeteurope.com. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your virtual fleet launch. And we will now feature a short video presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to go to the full screen mode of the video.
Okay, so thank you, Caroline. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first virtual fleet launch, and on behalf of Opel Vauxhall, we're absolutely delighted to be the first ones to pioneer this new technique to share with you our brand new Opel KARL. In terms of the presenters today, we have three people here joining us. So it's myself, Ian Hucker. I look after fleet for Opel Vauxhall Europe. I'll give you a quick overview of the context in which KARL will join us. But then Mark Schomburg, European Fleet Operations Manager, will run through the details of the vehicle. And Deanna Schreiber will also be with us here today. Deanna is the Product Manager for the Opel KARL, so she'll be here on hand to answer any questions that you may have about the vehicle when we get to the Q&A at the end of the session. So to kick us off, if I look at the agenda on the next slide, I'll give you just the context in which Opel KARL joins the new portfolio of Opel Vauxhall products, in particular looking at the developments of the A and the B segments in which the vehicle will compete. We'll then go on to give you an overview of the product highlights and the product offer that we'll be bringing to the market, as well as some other product news and some information on the residual value and the TCO related specifically to this vehicle. Finally, we'll just give you an indication on the timing, so when you can expect to see this vehicle available to order and running on the streets. To begin, looking at our Drive 2022 strategy and how this car will fit, Opel KARL is just the latest in a whole sequence of product launches that we announced just a couple of years ago. Basically 27 new models and 17 new engine configurations up until 2018. With this, we're on our drive back to profitability and to gain an 8% market share in Europe around 2022. We're on track. I'm delighted to confirm that for the last 2 successive years, we've grown our market share in Europe, And as of now, year-to-date 2015, we're growing again for the third successive year. We had at the beginning of the year new Vivaro hitting the streets, followed by Adam Rocks and the Adam S, continuing the evolution of the Adam range. New Corsa, which was launched either back end of last year or beginning of this year, depending on market. Now we're going to enjoy the KARL launch, which is coming right up. Later in the year, we complement this very impressive lineup of new cars for this year with the all-new Astra and, of course, the revolutionary OnStar technology. So moving to look at KARL first and foremost, and how KARL will fit in the A segment in which it will compete. Well, firstly, we believe as an organization that this segment of vehicle will increase significantly over the coming years. So running from around 7% of the market today to about 7.5% by 2022. And that basically gives us, with that vehicle, another 500,000 units in terms of segment size over that period of time. You then add that to the B segment in which Corsa competes, and between those two segments, we're basically looking at 26%, so basically a quarter of the EU markets. It's also relevant for fleet, with 16% of the fleet market when we take those very same markets. So a very important car for us, very important segments for us. If we look at how, on the next slide, how KARL fits into our overall portfolio for the A and B segments, we believe we've got the most comprehensive and tailored product offer in these segments of anybody out there in the industry. Everybody knows Corsa, bestseller in the industry, and effectively it's our all-rounder car. 3-door, 5-door, it's the mainstream product offer in that B segment. But what KARL does is offers us the entry position to the Opel brand. So at a competitive list price, a competitive entry-level vehicle, it basically forms that functional utilization vehicle at the entry point in the A segment, 5 doors, 5 seats, but utilizing all the latest product features and technology that you'd expect to see in vehicles higher up the range. The Adam, which we continue to expand the range with the Adam S and the Adam Rocks. This is our 3-door, 4-seater, highly customizable individualization vehicle, which sits above Corsa in terms of its positioning and offers that unique bespoke approach within the A segment. So between these three cars, we really have got every angle of the A and B segments covered. Now, to tell you a little bit more detail about the new KARL, I'd like to hand over to Mark, who will run you through the product details.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Schomburg. I'm happy to be with you here on the first virtual fleet launch. Now, looking a little bit more on the KARL and why this is a smart entry. Of course, the entry price, which is starting about 9,500 euro in Germany, for example, is of course already quite smart. But it's really smart. It's not cheap, it's smart. Because with this price, you don't get only the entry car for Opel, but you get a full set of options and specs you need for your car. You, as a fleet driver, but as well as private retail drivers. So you have a big range of versatility in the car and interior spaciousness, which was very good perceived. You have an efficient powertrain. We are launching with a 75 horsepower 1-liter engine, and there's a little bit more to come. We already offer in this segment the full seamless connectivity with OnStar and with IntelliSync. And as Ian also described, we have, of course, the exterior and interior design, which was very well perceived as well, plus the Opel typical highlights, like heated steering wheel. I mean, for those of you who know this option, they will never want to miss it again. Those of who you never tried, please try once, because you will really like it. And of course, we have some functionalities and assistance systems in it to make your, especially urban drive, much more easy. So this in total is coming together as a very lean product offer. So we have only 3 trim lines and a few packages and options to give you a very easy setup for the system. So looking at this next slide, the most important is to have the simplicity, and this should be a smart choice, so a real clever choice for your car. Going a little bit more into the details of this simplicity, our product offer, and here you see the 3 different trim lines, It's very easy. So you have a standard content in each trim line, essential starting trim level, second trim level is Enjoy, and the high trim level is the Cosmo. Again, these are European names, so it might be that in your country there are slightly different names and slightly different content, but this is a European setup here. So in general, we have a standard content increasing. With the Enjoy, you have the most flexibility of options. With the Essential, you can choose a little bit of options, and with the Cosmo, most or everything is in the car. But please be aware that all safety equipment is already on board with the car, already at this price. Just to explain a little bit more of this reduced offer, or let's say smart offer, on the next slide you'll see an overview about the 10 colors we have. So should meet everybody's demands with a white, a red, a black, a green, also some nice colors and very powerful colors, as well as 4 wheels, which are also very TCO, or let's say cost of ownership reflecting. And we have a radio setup with an easy base entry radio, but also the mid radio already offers Bluetooth and phone hands-free, and the up-level radio, which will be available with model year 16.5, offers you USB, Bluetooth, audio streaming, and likely have a much higher class car. Looking a bit on the engine lineup, what I can show you now is we have one engine which serves all your needs. This is a manual transmission, 1.0 3-cylinder engine with 75 horsepower. Depending if you have an EcoFlex package or not, you have 99 grams to 104. But I can tell you there's more to come. So soon we will announce a little bit more of the powertrain lineup. But again, it will be, let's say, reduced to what you need. So it won't be a very wide range. It will be focusing on the real needs. So coming to what the car is, or how the car is perceived in the market. Here is some feedback of a residual value event we had together with the KARL and with some international RV guidebooks and RV influencers from leasing industry. So this car was scored first in direct competition to its core competitors. This was a kind of car clinic we used there. And it was providing best-in-class residual values across several European markets. Just to give you a feeling, in Germany, Netherlands, and France, we got already the feedback. So far, Germany, the car was seen as best in segment, with already a quite good positive impact versus the segment average. The comments on this car were very positive. Top design, rich outside, above competition, good job. So we had really positive examples. And if you ever try the car, our new car, just try to look at its competitors as well, because you will see that this car is really a very good choice in the segment. But RV is only one part, as you know, as a fleet manager. If you look on the overall total cost of ownership, we prepared you an overview about what car was delivering against, let's say, not directly its predecessor, but against Opel Agila, which has a similar role in the Opel portfolio before. So against the Agila, our new car is offering about 4,000 euro lower total cost of ownership. Main part is driven by the depreciation, because the car is achieving very good RVs, combined with a very attractive list price. Plus, we have, of course, savings in fuel costs, maintenance costs, at the same levels of insurance costs, which is really quite good, because the insurance protocols, especially in Germany, are becoming stronger and harder from year to year. So we are really doing a good job there. But, of course, for you as a fleet customer, it's not sufficient to know how the car is performing against Agila. You want to know how the car is performing against competition. So on the next slide, we are showing you how the car is performing against core competitors and against this whole segment. So against its core competitors, the car is achieving best-in-class total cost of ownership values. And if you look in all cars within the segment, car is second best in class. So this is really extraordinary, because the car is really fresh in the market, and especially in the insurance part, there are some changes in there. So with the car, you will have the best-in-class TCO car within your fleet. I'm looking a bit more into the key launch milestones on the next chart. So what will come with the new car? Some of you might have witnessed the Geneva Motor Show, where the car was presented. We got very positive feedback from our customers on this motor show. The start of sales also started together with the world premiere in March, but you will be only able to see the car at your dealer with the starting of June. We have only about, I think, all over Europe, 34 cars, which are kind of test fleet cars internally. I'm very happy to drive one of these. Even with my 2 kids, I'm quite happy to have the one in. And they like especially the small being close to mom and dad. Okay, but what is the press reaction? So not only my reaction. So on the next slide, we gave you a brief overview of how the press reacted on this car. Again, this was very positive, independently from the market. So Italy, Spain, Germany, very positive feedback in all big European markets on the car. So this gives us a very good belief into the car, and this car will be also a success in the market as such. So now coming back to you. Do you have any questions so far? Are there any comments on our presentation? Just let us know, and we try to answer it directly on the spot. Or, of course, on the next slide you will see also our contact details. You can contact us later on and ask for your support or your questions on this one. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Ian and Mark, and I'm sure that the participants have already learned a lot, but perhaps they have still some questions. So indeed, let's move on to the last part of this virtual fleet launch, the Q&A. So just a quick reminder to the participants, you can send your questions by the chat functions. And we already received some questions here. So Mark, Ian, this is the first question for you. What kind of drivers do you target and in which countries in particular?
So these kind of drivers would be especially fleets which are driving mainly in urban areas, like healthcare fleets, could be governmental fleets, let's say, or companies having several locations within one city, which need to transport either small goods or deliveries within one city from one area to the other area of the city. So I think this would be one particular customer size which might be interested in this kind of car.
Okay, thank you. And I have another question here. Do you have plans to develop this model with alternative powertrain?
As I mentioned, there will be some more coming on the engine side, but at this point of time, I can't tell you more. But please stay in contact with us, and we will provide you with some more information later on.
Okay, quick question again. Is this model available in every European market, and will it be available outside Europe too?
Well, main focus of the model is, of course, Europe. So there we will see the car. The market launch cadence will vary from market to market, so it won't be available with one shot on the market. It will be a cadence. So please contact either your Opel dealer or your Opel NSC in the market, or contact us and we can tell you more in details which markets we want to have when for the Opel car.
Okay, thank you. And then finally, we have a participant who's asking if there will be an automatic gearbox.
Here again, I apologize for not offering you today the information, but please stay in contact with us.
Well, we will. Okay, thank you very much, Ian, Mark, and Diane also. I want to express a big thank you to Opel to be a partner of Fleet Europe for this first in the industry. To all the participants, I would like to mention that there will be a recording available after the session on fleeteurope.com. And you know that we value your feedback, so please take time to complete the survey and share your thoughts into what you would like to hear in the future. Thank you very much, Mark, Ian. Thank you to Opel and to all the participants. Bye-bye.